Welcome into KSU Nation, the best K-State and Big 12 podcast out there. I'm Stevie B.
And I'm Kenny G.
And in today's episode, we're going to break down Farmageddon 2024 K-State at Iowa State on Saturday night. Before we do that, though, Kenny, let them know about the sub button and the join button as well.
Hey, guys. Thank you guys so much for getting this channel over 1,000 subs. We appreciate that so much. If you're watching and you haven't subbed, just do a quick check and make sure you are, because in order to keep growing, we have to set new goals. So our new goal is 5,000 subs. I know it's a pretty tall task to ask after we just got 1,000, but how else do you expect to keep growing if you don't set goals for yourself? So our new goal is 5,000, and we hope to get there by the end of next year. That would be quite the accomplishment. But yes, and also we do have a members join button for only $2.99. You can become a member and you get a lot of cool perks. It's just another way to show your patronage for this channel as we grow together. So we definitely appreciate that. And now we're going to get into the thick with 3 C's of this week's podcast. Looking forward, Steve.
Absolutely. And if you guys want your messages to be highlighted, go ahead and click that $sign below for the super chats. We will definitely highlight any super chats that are sent our way, and we appreciate anyone who supports us. So this Saturday, there's still a lot of implications for the K-State Iowa State game. Though I think you and I talked about this, it really feels like every single time K-State and Iowa State play, it's like the last game of the weekend. And so a lot of these scenarios have already been decided. But K-State can play the spoiler because right now it looks like Arizona State and Iowa State are in the driver's seat. Iowa State has never won 10 games. And if they beat K-State, they will win 10 games. So we can play spoiler for them, not getting into Arlington, not getting 10 wins, and still an outside chance. I think it's a 15% chance that K-State can still make Arlington, Kenny.
Man, Steve, you took my talking point away. Yeah. I was gonna say it really makes me angry because by the time this would be the second year in a row where when K-State and Iowa State, and it's not just that they're playing when everything might be, it's like the time of day, like it's another night game, all the games that are basically going to determine what happens in the Big 12 championship title race is going to happen prior to them playing. And it's really frustrating because if we do get a situation where the Big 12 title is basically clinched, no matter what happens with K-State and Iowa State, then they're going to have another game where they're just going to go out and it's just going to be an ugly game. And I do not want that, especially not after what we just witnessed last weekend. Now, I personally don't think it's going to be an ugly game on the K-State side because I think, man, after what they have shown last weekend, there is almost like a new life into what they are bringing on the field. And you just hope that remains to be consistent into the last game of the season. I hope they didn't just blow their wad on the senior night game. I really want them to keep this energy, as the kids say, keep that energy going into the next this next week's game. But yeah, it's crazy. I mean, like Oklahoma State, Colorado, they're playing on Friday. And then every other game is like earlier than the 6:30 game on with K-State and Iowa State. It's a little frustrating, but hopefully, if there's some crazy upsets that happen, maybe it's going to be a situation where it actually means a lot, that game. And so it could go either way. It could swing in the way where K-State actually needs to win in order to make that title game. Either way, K-State needs to fly out of the gates, firing on all cylinders, and really kick the crap out of Iowa State after what they did to us at our home field during the snow game of last year. We definitely want redemption. We definitely want revenge. And we want to give them a little bit of taste of their own medicine by beating them at their home crowd on the last game of regular season.
Yeah, and I'm glad you mentioned that, Kenny. Here is Kenny and I last year in the snow. That was the wildest game I think I've ever been to. It was crazy. Snow was coming down. Kenny and I are true fans. We made it out there. I don't know how much snow it was. It had to have been like a foot or two of snow. And, we were there. Shout out to Iowa State for winning the game. It did feel like a lot of the K-State players were not fully into it. As you guys saw, our corner decided to just basically bump a guy instead of try to tackle him. I did want to play this video. This is
You actually had the sound on that one.
it finally worked, huh?
Yeah,
it finally worked. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that was sad. Will Howard is, greatly appreciated. He won a Big 12 championship game here. He's doing great things at Ohio State. I'm rooting for them the rest of the way, of course. But, this is a new game this year. I'm really excited to see K-State play Iowa State and hopefully, return the favor. And I'm tired of losing to Iowa State. K-State has lost 4 out of 6, and if they lose this, it'll be 5 out of 7 against Iowa State. And, when I was in school at K-State, we never lost to them. We never did. It was always a great game, but we never lost to them. One time, we blocked an extra point in Arrowhead. One time, we were down 3 touchdowns in the second half and came back. And actually, we were down like 7 with like a minute and a half left. All they had to do is just kneel it. They fumbled it. We scored a touchdown. They decided to try to win the game. They fumbled again. We got the ball and kicked the game-winning field goal. It was wild. Skylar Thompson's last game where he, scored the game-winning touchdown as the clock hit triple zeros. There's been a lot of really good games in this rivalry, and I'm really tired of K-State losing it. I am, and especially after last year, that was an embarrassing performance, specifically from the K-State defense. I mean, I think Iowa State had less than 40 plays, and they scored 42 points on K-State. That's embarrassing. And like I said, I'm tired of losing to them. I do think, considering what I saw on Saturday against Cincinnati, I think we're going to see another inspired performance by K-State. They have to be, because like you said, like a week ago, winning 9 or 10 games still should mean something at K-State, Kenny. And, I talked about how it was kind of a moral victory. I didn't want to hear that after losing to Arizona State. But now that it's been a week, now that K-State's won against Cincinnati, now that I'm feeling good again about K-State football, I agree with you. I think it still means something at K-State if you can get double-digit wins. And to do that, you have to beat Iowa State first.
Yeah, I mean, we're you know what, K-State fans are looking for wins anywhere we can get it because it's not looking good in other sports right now. So we're not even going to talk about that, but we need to look ahead and really try to get this dub. I think it'd just be a morale boost, honestly, for this K-State team going forward. I mean, we still have a relatively young team. I would say they're like not super young, but they this would definitely set the tone for next season for sure. And then also give the seniors, the guys that have been here forever, a good send off. I mean, we already kind of did that with the senior night, but just to top it off with a solid victory in a really hostile environment and also a great team, and play spoiler alert. I mean, we kind of want to be the bad guys here sometimes, I mean, it's been done to us and we would like to dish it out now to somebody else. So this would be a great game to do that on, especially last game of the season. I mean, and you already kind of touched on it, man. Like the history behind this rivalry, it dates back very, very far. It's always been a great game, and now it's like I'm hoping that that it remains to be on the schedule. I remember I think it was when the new schedule came out for the next like 4 seasons or something like that, it wasn't on there in the later part of the seasons. There's still time for that to change, but I definitely can't see why they would remove a deep-seated rivalry like this when it's been going on for so long. We got Keck W. I love that name, Keck W, wanting ISU in this one. So we have an ISU ASU title game. What does that say? Fear the Fork. We got a
Sun Devil fan.
We got a Sun Devil. Hey, welcome into the show. I'm glad you could catch us on this AM podcast. We usually do this on Tuesdays in the afternoon, but
I'm going to Texas. I'm flying to Texas today. It's the only time we can make it work. And Kenny's got to sleep because Kenny works a third shift, man. And so I
have not slept since I woke up at 11:30 last night, and I'm still awake. But we're making this work, and I'm always going to be up to talk about KSU. And but I want to highlight this one more time. ISU, they want ISU, so they have an ASU title game. I don't think you need Iowa State in the title game, or you don't need them to win to be in the title game, but I think he's just wanting to play Iowa State rather than potentially a BYU rematch
or Colorado or K-State again, because I feel like he knows K-State did not play its best. I get it, because I feel like of those teams, I feel like K-State and it's the best chance for ASU. Yeah, see, that's exactly what I'm saying. He feels like it's the best chance for them to win a Big 12 championship game.
Right. Iowa State's rush defense is horrendous. And they've got Cam Scadaboo, who is, arguably one of the best running backs in the Big 12.
Did you rush a field, Keck? Did you rush a field?
Oh, yeah. Were you there?
Dude, that was a wild ending, dude.
Keck W, he was the one that was hanging on the goalpost.
No. He's the one that was getting arrested. He was the one that was getting arrested.
He was the one getting arrested. That's right. Damn it, Keck. You should have been a little bit more swift on your feet. You got to be swift like a fox. Can't let the pigs get you, man. But yes, I think we got some scenarios to break down. Do you want to do that right now, or do you want to do some more looking into what's ahead?
I felt like we were going to do that later.
All right, that's fine. He goes, LOL.
75 Fiesta Bowl, but I live a mile away. Oh, dude, nice.
I was at the 1975 Fiesta Bowl. What?
Wow.
Is he talking about like the band, the 1975?
No, he was at the game. Kenny, he's older than us.
Oh, I see.
He and actually the Fiesta
Bowl. He lives
a mile.
You live a mile away and you didn't go to the game.
We live farther than that. Kenny and I both live.
I am old, he says.
Kenny, how far do we live? I mean, I think it's like.
I live about 15 minutes away.
It's 15 minutes. I'd say 10 or 15 miles.
Yeah. No.
Yeah. Okay. Look, we're going to get into K-State, Iowa State. We're going to do the look around the Big 12 after, and then the Big 12 title game scenarios, and then a game as well.
What Keck W is saying is that he actually was the one getting arrested in 1975. That's what he was saying. he was in those police cars that were like, that had the one light on the top of the car. That's what he was. He was the one that was like in that Heat of the Night episode. You know, the Heat of the Night show. All right, I'm okay. My dad watches that show. He says correct.
Yep. There we go. Okay, and thank you so much for watching. Make sure you guys tell your friends, because we do, regardless of this weekend's outcome, we will do a show next week breaking down the Big 12 title game, doing everything we normally do for a K-State game, but for the title game, regardless of whoever's playing. Then we're going to break down all the bowl games as well. So even though this is KSU Nation, this is really kind of like a Big 12 podcast where, of course, we lean toward K-State. We do have 2 K-State degrees between us. We're big K-State fans here. So we're definitely going to be breaking down the rest of the Big 12 as well. Kenny, let's get right into these the stats breakdown, because we kind of already did our intro here.
While you pull that up, just to touch on this really quick. Yeah, there's a lot of people out there that do Big 12 shows and they don't show their bias. Look, everyone's got a bias. If you're covering the Big 12, you have a bias. Don't lie about it. We're clearly not lying about it. We wear it on our chest. We wear it on our head. It's all K-State for us, but we also want to be objective, and we know that K-State's not the best team right now. And honestly, there's a lot of chaos going on, and we just want to show the love to everybody, because unless you're Oklahoma State, unless you're KU is the one team we struggle to give credit to. They're our in-state rival. I'm sure you can understand when you talk about Arizona. It's always a sore subject. Sun Devil fans, you know what I'm talking about.
Yep. And before we look at this, you said it earlier, K-State, Iowa State, Farmageddon dates back to 1917.
Woo!
Iowa State leads the overall series 53-50 and 4 ties. K-State needs to win the next 3 to have the next 4 to have the all-time series lead. Largest victory is 58-7 by K-State in 2002. And then for Iowa State, it's 48-0 back in 1943. Longest win streak, 10 for each school. So let's go and take a look at the stats breakdown.
Hey, that is a rivalry with some freaking history, dude. What
Yes,
was going
it
on
is.
in 1917? World War I? Like, jeez Louise.
My God. Okay, so Iowa State won the first one 10-7. K-State won the next one 11-0. I don't even know how you get that score.
This
but
is
they did.
back when like there were no helmets being worn. Nobody was wearing helmets.
Nope. Yeah,
They weren't wearing pads.
Yeah, I mean,
There weren't.
Yeah, shit.
It was all white people. I mean, the
Yeah,
quarterback role wasn't even established.
And then next year we're playing in freaking Ireland, man.
And now we're going to Ireland. What is going on, man?
I don't
crazy.
know. I don't know. Okay, let's take a look at this stats breakdown. I'm not gonna lie, Iowa State's got a pretty good team, at least on paper. Man, I mean, their defense is good, their passing offense is good, but we already knew that, Kenny. To me, and you've said this before, I think the biggest thing for K-State is to be able to fire off right from the beginning. K-State's undefeated when scoring a touchdown in the first quarter. You got to be able to run the ball. K-State had almost 300 yards against Cincinnati. You have the 99th rush defense at Iowa State. Kenny, I think K-State can exploit that with Avery and DJ.
Dude, and Joe Jackson. I mean, we have got to really establish a dominant rush offense. This is like, you have to do it on this team. Okay. They are ranked 15th in the Big 12 when it comes to the rush defense. This is K-State's only hope right here is to really expose that rush defense. And look, Keck W said he already knows, like, he's wanting to play against Iowa State because he knows that they're weak in the rush defense, and you see it right here. Teams that have a solid rushing offense, they're going to be able to expose that. And you saw that against what's his name? Taj Brooks. Iowa State lost that game to the Red Raiders, and Taj Brooks was an absolute maniac. Also, Iowa State suffered a lot of injuries over the year, and that's just something that is unfortunate for any team. K-State luckily hasn't had any crazy injuries. I mean, we lost Asa Newsome. We had some other ones there, but it wasn't like any big, stark injuries that we couldn't fill holes in. But this, it's hard to look at these anymore, Steve, because K-State was like overwhelmingly favored against Houston and overwhelmingly favored against Arizona State, and we still lost those games. I think it's just about who shows up, who's ready to play, who's ready to make it happen. And Iowa State coming off an emotional win over Utah where they were down, dude. Rocco Beck did have full control over that game. At the very end of the game, there was no doubt in my mind he was going to be able to, drive that ball all the way into the end zone. And, that's exactly what happened. He is a very, very good quarterback. He's getting lots of praise all over the country, but I will say he does have moments where he does show that he's a young quarterback. He does have moments where he makes boneheaded mistakes, but honestly, dude, he's pretty stellar. He is pretty dang stellar, given that he is sort of a younger quarterback. But I keep jumping around what I'm trying to say. We're talking about offense here. I don't think you really need to talk anything else about the offense. We just got to get it done on our legs. Yep. Avery's got to. We got to really fire off how he did against Cincinnati. Avery's got to get going. He's got to, what they say all the time, they have to cut him loose. Avery's got to cut loose. DJ's got to go off. It's good that he's healthy again, or healthier again. And then Joe Jackson, getting him in the mix because he looks damn good out there. Damn good.
Yeah, for me, I agree with what Keck said here. K-State needs to run the ball and hit the tight end. You guys always have great tight ends and never use them enough. I mean, K-State's had, I think, 11 or 12 touchdowns to tight ends this year. So they've used them. They hardly used them against Arizona State. When looking at the pass defense for Iowa State, I mean, I assume that their corners and safeties are really good. So I agree. Hit the tight ends in a flat, hit them, in the middle of the field, keep them honest, because at some point maybe you can beat them deep down the sideline of Jace Brown or Trey Spivey. I mean, Spivey's looking really good lately as well, but you said it best, man. It starts up front. If K-State can win the line of scrimmage, which it looks like they can, because they have the 99th rush defense, and also
look at how much they're giving up, Steve. They're giving up 176 yards per game. That's crazy. And they're not getting after the quarterback either. So K-State can win the line of scrimmage, man. They only have 11 sacks on defense, 122nd in the country. I do not expect Avery to get sacked in this game. I expect K-State to run the ball for over 200 yards in this game as well. And like you said, man, K-State's got to start off hot, because as we said earlier, K-State's undefeated when they score first quarter touchdown. They have to come out swinging, have to come out full force. And if they can do that, I like K-State's odds, specifically how they played this past weekend. Feels like Iowa State really hasn't played very good in a while. They did win this past weekend, but really, just like K-State, honestly, neither team has really played their best in the last month. Looking at the defense here, K-State needs to do the same thing. They need to come out, stop the run, and then see if they can get after the quarterback. K-State is 23rd in the country with 30 sacks. K-State has to get to Rocco Becht. They have to stop the run game and try to limit their passing game, because a year ago, that's what hurt K-State. The running back went for almost 300 yards, and then they beat us deep with their wide receivers as well. It was a really, really frustrating day for the defense. Hopefully Klanderman and company have learned from that performance, Kenny. Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of just looking at Iowa State's history here. They struggled against Houston. That was their first game of the season, where they had 3 points for almost 3 quarters. Then they played Baylor at home, and Baylor was coming off of a heartbreaking loss to Colorado. And so that obviously affected this game for sure, because we see what Baylor looks like now, and they're not even the same team. Then they went and they won against West Virginia pretty handily right before we played them. And then they almost lost to UCF at home. That was that game, or that week, where both Iowa State and BYU were literally, they had the exact same scoreline, 38-35, and they both won with like very little time left, and they made the game-winning kick or whatever it was. Then they had an insanely close game against Texas Tech, but they lost 23-22. Then they lost again to KU, and then they won handily against Cincinnati, but Cincinnati's not a great team, and then they barely won Utah.
Wait a second. They were only up 3 points against Cincinnati with like a couple minutes left. The score looks kind of wacky, because I think it was 34-17, but they were only up 3 with like 4 minutes left in the game. So Cincinnati played them close, in case it blew out Cincinnati. Move on.
Right.
Sorry.
Right. And so I think Iowa State's schedule helped them out a little bit, even though like we were able to beat KU, they didn't. And, I think we could beat Texas Tech. They play really, really sloppy football. And, they played at UCF in a really close game. It just seems like, I mean, we beat West Virginia way better than they did. I guess the only thing you can say that we didn't do was we didn't beat Houston, right? So that's the only thing that they have over us. But the thing is like, that was the first game of conference play, and they've suffered a lot of injuries over the season, where, K-State's kind of stayed healthy. And I think we have to emphasize that when we talk about this game, because that plays a huge role. I don't want to downplay Iowa State. I think they're a good team. They're a solid team, clearly. They're able to, they're ahead of us in terms of win-loss. So they're obviously doing something right, and they were able to make a lot of these games close, but be on the winning side of that. So I just want to point that out. K-State should not overlook this team, and I don't think they're going to. This is the last game of the season. They're going to leave it all out on the field, and they should. And I just think that K-State has the weapons to beat this team. We will go over the rush offense. What do you think about? Let me ask you this, Steve. What do you think about the way that we had Connor Riley on the sideline? Do you think they're going to do that again, or was that just more of like a senior night thing?
No, I feel like they're going to do that. You're gonna ride that horse until it bucks you. And right now, and that's what they did with Riley up in the booth. It did not work the last couple weeks, and honestly, I feel like it really hasn't worked all year. But to me, I feel like you have to stick with him on the sideline for multiple reasons. Number one, so that way he can get after the offensive line, because the O-line has really struggled this year at times. And when you're the OC and you coach O-line, I mean, that is tough being up in the booth, not around your guys. So I feel like the best thing for K-State is to have him on the sideline. And then also that way he actually gets to talk to Avery face-to-face as well. And then also talk to Matt Wells face-to-face as well, because Matt Wells has been on the sideline all season. What do you think, Kenny?
Well, I mean, we had Joe Tillery on last night, and he was saying that, Connor Riley is more of a hands-on kind of coach, and it's kind of his style to sort of be in the mix like that. I mean, I feel like that's where he really thrives. Like you said, they tried to make it work, and we were getting away with it for a while. And we were getting away with it until we weren't, and until change needed to be made. And it's good on Kleiman to recognize the changes that need to be made and where Connor Riley is better suited. And I honestly, Steve, and I think you might agree with me, I think this is just a Band-Aid fix for the very end of the season. I think K-State needs to maybe move on from Connor Riley and find a different answer for OC. I can't imagine this being the way that we go into the 2025 season. I think this is just a Band-Aid fix, just to end the season on a good note.
I would not disagree with that, but I feel like as a fan, I would not disagree with that. I do think that, barring K-State looking like crap the last two games here, I would not be surprised to see Riley back next year as OC. That's one of his best friends as well, and he's done a pretty decent job with the O-line. He's got a couple guys in NFL. Because if you fire him as OC, he's not staying as the O-line coach. He's leaving, right?
Yeah.
So, and also, I feel like another reason
he did call the plays, though, Steve. He was still calling the plays.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, like you probably want some continuity, because like in the NFL, like when the offense or defense isn't working, you get a new guy, and then you get another new guy, and you kind of want to build it up, right? Because as you said, next year, that's the year of the Wildcats, right? So you don't want to change the offense completely with a new guy coming in, but you just want better play calls, and maybe handing it over to Matt Wells would be best. Now, Connor Riley is definitely still calling the plays from the sideline. Brian LePack is just helping him see some stuff on the field and maybe having some input as well. I don't see Chris Kleiman firing him as OC unless the offense is dreadful these last two games, which would actually be, 5 out of the last 6 being really bad, honestly. So I want to say one other thing about these stats, and then we can move on to our score predictions. Iowa State's got 3 pretty good running backs. They all do something different. Carson Hansen is kind of their big bruiser. He has the most yards, the most touchdowns. He's their goal line back. Abu Sama is the guy that went off against K-State last year, almost 300 yards rushing. This year he has less than 500. He does have a 77-yarder, though. And then Jalen Jackson is kind of their third down back. He's pretty good as well. And then Rocco Becht, he still can run the ball too, in case it struggled defending the quarterback run game at times. So, but still, the biggest issue for K-State is going to be that passing offense by Iowa State. Jalen Noel killed us last year. Jaden Higgins is their leading receiver this year with 1,000 yards and 8 touchdowns. K-State's got their hands full with Iowa State's offense. They really do. So.
Yeah, we gotta get after the quarterback. I think this is where the DBs, Clanderman has got to draw up some schemes to really put pressure on their quarterback. And it doesn't look like they're a team that allows their quarterback to get touched a lot. So it's gonna be pretty tough to get to them. But nonetheless, I mean, this is what has to happen if you want any success shutting down that pass game, because I mean, as much as I love Jacob Parrish and as much as I think VJ Payne is playing really well, we have weaknesses on the other end. We have weaknesses with the other safety. We have weaknesses with the other cornerbacks. I mean, you saw it when Garber wasn't even playing the whole game. I mean, you pointed that out.
He hardly played at all, man. They went Justice James, and then honestly, neither guy was having good success against Cincinnati. And other safeties have been bad all year. They have VJ Payne and Jacob Parrish are the only good DBs we have. So
yeah, I just think it needs to be the case that we just got to get after the quarterback. I mean, that has to be the only way we help out our corners. I mean, because our corners and our safeties just can't get it done on their own. They just can't. They've proved it all year long.
I mean, K-State has just got to win the line of scrimmage on offense and defense. And if you do that, if you can run the ball and stop the run, I feel like you have a pretty good chance of winning. So, which
this is their team is usually. I mean, I guess we're going to get into score predictions right now, right? So let's move on to that. But Iowa State is typically a team that doesn't really do a lot of high scoring games. I mean, the highest scoring game that they have in the Big 12 so far was when they played Baylor, and that was like their highest, that they scored 43 points. I guess the closest one to that would be the UCF game where they scored 38, but that was a super close game. But other than that, it's just been like low 30s, low 20s, nothing, anything crazy. Do you think this is going to be a shootout, Steve, or do you think like to where like whoever has the ball last is going to win the game, kind of like what happened last season where K-State had the ball last and we could have put it into overtime if we would have completed that pass, but it didn't happen.
No, I don't think it's gonna be. I don't think it's gonna be a shootout. No, I think it'll be lower scoring. Last year was a crazy game, an epic game. I just wish K-State had won because that was a lot of fun being in the snow. No, I think it'll be lower scoring. I don't think either team gets into the 30s. So, should we get into our score predictions then? Is it that time?
Yeah. Let's do it. I'm guessing this is a BYU fan here.
Go ahead, Kenny.
Score prediction. I've got K-State beating Iowa State. I think it's going to be one heck of a game. It's going to be, let's see here. Let's go 28-24. 28-24.
K-State wins.
K-State wins.
Okay. I'm going to go very similar to that. I'm going to go 27-21. K-State wins. Same score as 2012. I think K-State's playing pretty good after beating Cincinnati. I don't respect Iowa State's run defense, but it is easier to prepare for a running offense than a passing offense. So I do think they're going to have some success. I would not be surprised if Iowa State got up 14-0 early. But I do think K-State is the better team right now. I rated them higher in my Big 12 rankings or power rankings. And I got K-State winning. I cannot pick against K-State, man. I know a couple weeks ago we said we were probably going to pick Iowa State. Can't do it, man. Can't do it. I got K-State winning 27-21. Should we get into our hot takes?
I mean, every single Colorado fan and BYU fan needs us to beat Iowa State. And the thing is that between Colorado, Arizona State, and BYU, all three of them need K-State to beat Iowa State. But only two of you guys can get into the championship game. So, but Arizona State, hey, they held their destiny. So all they need to do is just win. Okay. And they're in. So that it doesn't even matter for them but BYU and Colorado both need K-State to lose to Iowa State. Otherwise it's Iowa State, Arizona State. So that's just the way it is if both teams win. But yeah, let's get into the hot takes. So this section or this segment of the podcast, we go over our hot takes, and that's just basically us giving you a detailed, like almost like betting. What do they call that? Like a parlay or something. We're creating our own parlay.
We're creating our own single game parlay with some over under props.
Yes. So with this, is this the game, Steve? I've been trying to call this all season long. Is this the game where DJ rushes for over 200 yards? He hasn't been able to do it. I've called it too many times. I feel like it's kind of like one of those things where, like, if I just keep calling it, it'll hit once. It'll hit once. I'm like a bad gambler, dude. I'm a bad gambler. But this is going to be my offensive hot take. DJ, last game of the regular season, will rush for over 200 yards. I think this would be the best game to do it. He could have done it in the Oklahoma State game, but they pulled him out of the game in the third quarter because we were way too ahead in that game. And then for my defensive hot takes, I'm going to call for 5 sacks. 5 sacks. I'm hoping that I'm right.
I love all of that. And I love that finally neither one of us stole the other person's hot takes. So I have Avery Johnson. K-State figured something out running the ball with him. He finally looks healthy. I got Avery Johnson over 100 rushing yards in this game and 3 total touchdowns. I think this is going to be Avery's game. I'd love to see DJ get 200 rushing yards. I just think it'll be Avery's time for this game because they're going to be keying in on DJ running the ball, and Avery is crazy fast. On defense, I went with the sacks last week. I won that hot take. Let's not, brush your shoulders off. I got VJ Payne with a little interception, Kenny. A little interception. VJ Payne. He's playing at like a second team all Big 12 level right now. So that's a K-State score predictions and hot takes.
Yeah, I think Klanderman's going to have to do some stunts, man, and get some rushes, some blitzes from Austin Romaine or something, get some pressure on the quarterback. I mean, we've got to pressure their quarterback. We've got to pressure Rocco Beck. But all right, man, that's the hot takes, the K-State hot takes.
Yeah, and I agree. K-State's really been honestly doing a lot of blitzing all year. What did KU's head coach say after that final possession? They asked him what he saw, and he goes, "A shitload of blitzing."
Yeah, shit ton of blitzing. I mean, that's just, we have to do that against quarterbacks that are, dual threat. And Rocco Beck is not necessarily dual threat, but he can scramble. I mean, he's talented. He's a very athletic dude. So I got a lot of respect for him. A lot of respect. So are we doing the look around the Big 12 and then the scenarios? Is that what we're going to do?
Yeah, let's do it. Go ahead.
All right. So looking around the Big 12. Wait, do I have to do this? Because I don't have it pulled up yet. Or you have it pulled up.
All right. I have it pulled up.
All right. So
lead it in, Kenny.
All right. So here's the thing. All right. Here's the thing, guys. I'm going to be calling these games, and I think you will understand, okay? I think everybody who watches this video, everybody who's live watching, thank you guys so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't. But everybody who is watching right now, I'm going to be calling these games as a K-State fan needing K-State to get to Arlington, okay? In my heart of hearts, I don't believe that this is going to be the case, but this is what I want it to be as a K-State fan. I want to make that known, okay? I want to actually just allow that to be the case, okay?
And then I'll pick them objectively. So that way you get a little bit of each. K-State fan, what we need to happen, and then objective as well.
And I'll even say this. Because I put in the caveat, right? Like, this is what I want it to be. Stevie, I will just agree with whatever score he gives, even though I've been more correct on scores. I will let him run with the torch here. But I hope you guys understand when I pick these games, this is why I'm picking them. All right? Okay, here we go. First game on the docket. We got Oklahoma State versus Colorado.
Friday at 11 a.m., man. Friday at 11 a.m. This is perfect.
In my want and need, I don't believe this is going to happen, but if Mike Gundy is the coach I believe he is going to write the craziest upset of all time. And Oklahoma State, I have Oklahoma State beating Colorado. It's funny even when I say it because I don't actually believe this is going to happen, but this is what I need to happen for K-State to get in. So Colorado will lose this game. Ollie Gordon is going to go off. It's going to be, let's say 33 to, let's go 33 to 30. Let's make it a super close game. Oklahoma State wins.
I love it. I don't
wins their first conference game of the year. Hey, they got a lot to play for. They're going to win their first conference in the last game of the season.
Love it. I don't see that happening. Colorado favored by 3 scores basically at this point. Over under 64.5. Always got to bet the over when Colorado's playing. I got Colorado winning 45 to 24, hitting it over. Shadur Sanders is going to go out through a bunch of touchdowns, 300 yards. Travis Hunter's crazy. Their fans are pissed after losing last week. They need help as well. Before they get help, they got to win this game, though, and Colorado's going to win this game 45-24 and get to 9-3, 7-2 in the Big 12. Moving on.
That's actually probably what's going to happen, but I just
probably.
I gotta.
By the way, neither of us talked about this before going live. But this is when you guys heard that was also the first time I had heard that. So we had not talked about that at all. We usually go right off the cuff.
I actually told Steve in my head. I told Steve about this in my head. I just didn't. Yeah.
Okay.
Ugly game, Steve. Ugly game. I don't think anyone's going to be watching this game. It's bottom of the barrel.
Friday night. Yeah, no, I'm not watching this. The save time, UCF 35. Utah 28.
Oh, you think Utah's going to lose?
Yeah, I think UCF is better.
I don't think UCF will win this game. I think Utah's defense is pretty good, and they're going to want to stop the bleeding. I think they were close against Iowa State. And yeah, I just think Utah will probably win. I just have them winning. This has nothing to do with K-State. I'm not just going against Steve because the implications of this game for K-State is zero. There's zero implications. So I got Utah winning. Let's go 27 UCF 24.
Okay. This is a game that you and I are most excited for. Saturday night, Farmageddon 2024, dating back 107 years. I got K-State winning 27-21. I got Avery Johnson over 100 yards, 3 total touchdowns, and then on defense, VJ Payne with a little interception. K-State wins 27-21. Kenny, what was your score again?
My score was 28-24. DJ Giddens will get over 200 rushing yards. Hopefully he breaks 1,500 total for the year because that'd be totally dope. And I'm hoping to get 5 sacks this game from the defense, hoping a lot of blitzing is going to take place.
A shitload of blitzing. Moving on. This is an interesting game. KU needs to win this game to get bowl eligible. Baylor is right there, man. They are right there fighting for a spot in Arlington as well. They need a lot of help. Had they just knocked down that Hail Mary against Colorado, man, where could they be right now? Baylor favored by only 1, over under 61.5. I'm going to go first here. I got Baylor winning this game 31. No, we'll go higher. We'll go 38-34. Baylor wins, heading to over as well, obviously. Kenny?
I actually think KU is playing better than Baylor. They're both playing top tier football right now. I think Baylor has secured their coach's job. I don't think that they do have a path to get to the Big 12 championship game. We're going to go over some of that in a little bit, but I think KU they're just popping off right now, man. They're the Giant Slayers. They're already, they're breaking records as a losing team. It's insane. This KU team is insane. They're actually playing like the team that everybody was kind of afraid of before the season. So I got them winning. I'm going to go, man, I think this is going to be high scoring, dude. I think it's going to be like 41-38. Let's do that. 41-38. KU wins.
You almost said Baylor. You almost said Baylor.
I almost did.
And that's better for K-State as well, right? Baylor losing.
Either way, it's there's an easier path if KU wins. There's an easier path. I'll say that.
Okay.
It's a more chaotic path for K-State if Baylor wins.
This is another one of those games where it's kind of an elimination game, even though honestly both teams are probably out of it. Texas Tech hosting West Virginia Tech, favored by 3.5, over under 64.5. Every one of these games I feel like is really high scoring between Texas Tech and West Virginia. I got the Red Raiders winning 41-28. I think they're going to win by 2 scores. I don't think West Virginia's pass defense is very good. In fact, they're awful. And then Tech likes to throw the ball and run the ball as well. I just think they're better. I do.
Yeah, I just see this being a shootout game. Yeah, I'll pick West Virginia because I want the 8 6-3 team meme to come to life. And in order for that to happen, West Virginia has to win. And I'm just going to look at this comment here. He goes, who wants to see an 8-way tie for first place? Well, the only way you do that is if you get 8 6-3 teams, and then the big title game would be West Virginia K-State based on the tiebreaker rules. That would be insane. But in order for that to happen, West Virginia has to beat Texas Tech, and I'm going to pick them just because I want to see the chaos. But yeah, let's go West Virginia. Let's go West Virginia 35, Texas Tech 34. West Virginia plays a lot of these close games, so 35-34.
They do.
Throw another one.
Okay, this is an interesting game, Kenny.
Yeah, this is another one where
does Arizona get up for this game? Do they get up for it, or does Arizona State just roll?
This is a game where I'm picking where I don't actually believe my pick. I'm just doing this because it's going to help K-State. So Arizona, they're at home. If they were in Arizona, if they were in Tempe, they would not win this game. But because they're in Tucson, that helps them out a little bit. Arizona State's coming off an emotional win. Huge win. If you're Donald Trump, huge win. They're coming off a huge win. Arizona, they have literally nothing else to really play for except for beating Arizona State. This is all they want to do is beat their in-state rivals. Arizona State, there's still a path technically if they lose this game. So they want to win, obviously, because if they win, they're in. So it's like they have a lot to play for as well. I just, when you win against BYU in the fashion that you did, it takes a lot out of you. I said this with the BYU Utah game and then the game after that. I said you have to add the emotional element to the game. You have to add that. We're human beings. We have emotional exhaustion. I think Arizona State, and I'm saying all that as if I'm really convinced that they're going to win, but because I don't think so. But Arizona State, I'm just picking them because I want K-State to get in the Big 12 title, and I'll let you pick the real winner.
Wait. Arizona State, you said, or Arizona's going to win?
Arizona is going to beat ASU. We'll do a weird score, like 39-34. 39-34.
That would be epic, man. That would be an epic game. Is there a name for this game? I need to look it up because there's got to, because K-State's got the Sunflower Showdown, Farmageddon. What is the Arizona State game called? It's got to be something crazy, right?
Cats on a Fork? I don't know.
Territorial Cup. Wow, what a terrible name.
That sucks. You guys need to do better than that.
That name sucks.
Rivalry games are always a trap, yes, and because they're in Arizona, this is It's better for them.
I mean, you need McMillan to go off for 300 yards and a bunch of touchdowns. You need Fafita to play the game of his life.
Yeah.
I don't see that happening. I think there's actually going to be a lot of ASU fans in Tempe, or not in Tempe, in Tucson. Of course, there's a lot of ASU fans in Tempe. I got Arizona State winning this game 42-14. I mean, Arizona lost at home 31 to 7 or whatever,
Right.
31-14 to freaking Colorado, and Arizona State's pretty good as well. I see, the emotional part of it, trap game part of it. I get all of that. And this is all of that, right? It's every bit of that. But I just think Arizona State's way better. In fact, they have flip-flopped based off of the preseason expectations, Kenny. Everyone thought Arizona was going to be really good and ASU was going to stink. Turns out it was opposite, man. I got Arizona State winning 42-14.
Yeah, they could even end up with the record that they thought Arizona State was going to get, like 4 wins for the whole
4-8.
year.
Yeah, you're right.
That's
you are right.
so crazy, man. That's so crazy. But yeah, that's that game. I mean, it's going to be a wild game. It's going to be a wild game, but I definitely believe Arizona State's going to win. But I'm picking Arizona because I'm just trying to get K-State to the Big 12 game. Okay.
Love it.
This is the best way to do it.
TCU Cincinnati. Cincinnati's got a senior game here, senior day game against TCU. TCU's finally playing pretty good football down the stretch. To save time, I'm just going to do this quickly. I got TCU winning. Close game. We'll go 31-28. TCU wins.
Yeah, I think TCU is going to beat them way worse than that. Dude, TCU's offense is no freaking joke, dude. I think TCU goes over 40. Did you say 40? You said 30, right?
31-28.
No, I think TCU they're gonna hit like 48 here. 48 to I'll say 48-21. 48-21.
I dig it. Last game in the Big 12, Saturday night, 9:15. The Houston Cougars, losers of 2 in a row, hosting the Houston Cougars.
It's the Cougar rivalry.
BYU Cougars versus the Houston Cougars. The Cougar Bowl. BYU favored by basically 2 touchdowns, over under 41.5. I'm going to go quickly here. BYU wins. They end their 2-game skid. They win. I mean, Houston's defense is good, so I see why the over-under is low. We'll go 28-10.
Most definitely, the Cougars will win this game. I'm calling it now, Steve. Don't argue with me. The Cougars are going to win this game. No doubt about it. There's no doubt in my mind the Cougars will win, and the Cougars are also going to lose, okay? The Cougars are going to win, and the Cougars are going to lose. So I already picked my teams, and I picked Colorado to lose and Arizona State to lose. And guess what, Steve? In order for K-State to get back to the Big 12 title, BYU can win this game. And I think they will win this game. Why? Because they're playing at home. And Houston has lots of problems. Offensively.
I'm still mad they beat K-State. I'm still mad about that.
Houston has lots of problems on offense. And BYU, they are still a good football team. They're playing at home. The crowd is going to be insane. It's going to be insane. What time is this playing? What time are they playing? 9:15. Another night game. Yep, everything's going against Houston on this game. So I believe, and now actually, Steve, it looks like this game is the one that's going to maybe not play for anything, because if everything falls in chaos, then maybe not. I don't know. But if BYU wins, the way I have my whatchamacallit, the scenario pulled up, it'll be BYU K-State in the Big 12 game, which is what I really, really want.
I want that so bad. I want that
more than anything.
Yep.
I want a rematch for the first game of the season. So I've got BYU winning. 28, Houston 10. 28-10.
Dude, we picked the
Did you just
exact
say-
same score.
Did you say that? Oh man, I didn't even realize.
Yeah, that's the exact same score.
I'm gonna go 28-9.
He prices righted me. He prices righted me.
I'm gonna prices right your ass. 28-9.
Oh shit! And that here we go. BYU versus K-State would be the best outcome for the conference. I could see that. I think BYU getting in
Colorado fans do not agree. Neither
Colorado
do
fans don't
Arizona
agree.
State fans.
I think BYU getting in is the best for the conference. I don't think it matters who they play, but I would love it for K-State to get in there. But that is the score predictions for Week 14, last week of the season here in the Big 12. Kenny, it's that time.
Yes. It's that time
up,
to
bro.
go over
Title
different
game
scenarios. All right.
Title game scenarios.
This is what we need to work out for everybody watching. This is really important stuff here. We're sharing the screen. All right. So what I have pulled up currently is the scenario for K-State to play BYU in the Big 12 championship game. Okay. So in order for K-State to make it to the Big 12 game, all these need to happen. This could go either way. It doesn't matter. These can go either way. It doesn't matter. Oop. But for K-State, and I think this doesn't matter either, but for K-State to make it to the Big 12 game, Big 12 championship game, Arizona must lose, or Arizona State must lose, Colorado must lose, BYU win, K-State win. If you calculate the standings, BYU gets in solely because of the record. K-State gets in because of the conference opponent win percentage. Okay. So I know a lot of people don't really care that are watching, that are different fans of other teams, but this is K-State's time to find a way to get through the chaos.
And again, K-State has played by far the toughest schedule of any team that is in the running for Arlington. But
now, here's the thing. If Baylor wins, which you have them winning, it will be BYU and Baylor, which that'll be another rematch for them, where BYU came and did a really good job against that team. So Kansas must win against Baylor in order for that scenario to happen. Now, for Arizona State, K-State, we need this outcome. If Kansas State and Arizona State were to play in the Big 12 championship game, it would need to be this scenario right here.
All the road teams except for two.
Yes, which I find that extremely unlikely. Extremely unlikely. Basically, like BYU, I just don't see BYU losing to Houston at home at night. I just can't see it. And then for Colorado, K-State, it needs to be this. This is the scenario for Colorado, K-State. Colorado would get in. So basically, anytime there is a tie of 6-3 teams, multiple 6-3 teams, K-State wins automatically with every scenario. Let's go into the crazy scenario of the 8-game, the 8-team, right? And that would be Baylor, this, and this. This would be 8 teams at 6-3. See, 7, 8. 8 teams at 6-3. Baylor would get, actually, I guess in this scenario, Baylor has the advantage over K-State.
And again, this is 256 possible outcomes with 8 games remaining, 20 possible championship matchups. So we can't go over all of them. We can't. But from the K-State point of view, we had to go over those.
Yes. That is quite literally what needs to happen for K-State. Now, again, I'll just put up what I believe is going to happen. I said West Virginia, right? And I said Utah. Yeah. This is the scenario, the easiest scenario I think that K-State needs to find in order for them to actually make it to the Big 12 championship game. If they have any hopes at all, Colorado must lose to Oklahoma State. That's insane to even say. I don't believe that's going to happen, but let's see what happens if they win. Let's go with what the favorite is, right? This is what's favorited. Okay, if all the favorites win, that is your Big 12 title game. This is why BYU and Colorado need K-State to lose to Iowa State, because if that happens,
they need K-State to win the game, is what you mean.
Oh, yeah. They need K-State to win the game. BYU just needs K-State to win, and then they need to take care of business. Colorado, they need a little bit more help than that. They need Arizona to lose also.
Is there any scenario where going into the last game, if Colorado wins, that K-State can still get in? Let's say Colorado wins.
Yeah, I just did that.
Let's say, okay, so Colorado can win.
It's
and let's say Arizona State wins. If Colorado and Arizona State win, I guess they're both in, right? It doesn't matter if K-State wins.
So. Instantly in. Arizona State would have to lose for K-State to get in.
Okay, so we need Arizona State to lose.
Arizona has to be Arizona State. That is the biggest thing ever. And then, basically, Steve, you already pointed this out. In order for K-State to get into the Big 12 title game, the three teams that we need 2 out of the 3 teams to lose: Colorado, BYU, Arizona State. We need 2 of them out of the 3 to lose. Pick whatever 2 you want.
Plus K-State to win.
And K-State obviously needs to win. And I think KU needs to win in every scenario. I'm not sure about that, but with KU winning out, KU beating Baylor, because I'm pretty sure if Baylor is thrown into the mix, because they have a better 6-3 record than we do, they would get in ahead of us. So yeah, even right there, if Baylor wins, then they get in. Oops. Yeah, if Baylor wins, they would get in over Texas Tech, over us. Yeah. So we would definitely need KU to win.
Okay, so we need 2 out of those 3 to lose, plus Baylor to lose. So there's actually a lot that needs to happen, and K-State needs to win, which is honestly probably the toughest out of all of those.
Yeah, this is like a crazy. If this happens Friday, this would throw everything into chaos. Like, then that makes this a little bit more realistic, but this is what I believe could actually happen. Well, I have this right here. Yeah, this is the scenario I believe will actually happen if K-State were to make it in. I don't see BYU losing. That's just my only thing. Oh, and there's one other thing. There is a scenario where there's 7 teams that get in. 7 teams that get in, and I believe it's this right here.
They get into a tie.
Yes, 7 6-3 teams, and that would be the Big 12 championship game. Be K-State versus West Virginia. This would be horrendous for the Big 12. I wouldn't even be pumped for the Big 12. I mean, I'd be happy that
Bull crap. Yes, you would. Bull crap.
I'd be happy that K-State's in it, sure, but like, oh man, we're going against West Virginia. That's not a good team to have in the Big 12 championship game. I would feel like we kind of, I mean, hey, it's like if this actually happens, then we deserve it. You know what I mean? Because like, and West Virginia deserves it, because the people that get into the Big 12 championship game, I mean, this is not an easy conference, despite what the people that run ESPN SEC say, or SECPN, or whatever the acronym is. Despite everybody saying that this conference is just a truck stop conference, it's a conference that doesn't matter and they're all just easy teams, whatever. This is still a tough conference to be in, and we play physical, we play hard and passionate. So any of these scenarios could actually happen. There's a possibility, of course.
But the most likely scenario still right now, at least according to all of this is that it's Iowa State versus Arizona State if they both
It's
win.
this outcome. It's this outcome right here.
Yeah.
Even
Put
though,
it on the
like,
screen one more time.
yeah, this is the outcome.
Yeah.
This is the win-loss, and it would be these two teams.
Yep. That's why they're both at 50%. So they
That's
won all
fine.
the tiebreakers.
And it would put, 4 teams at 7-2, but because of the way that the tiebreaker rules work, it would have Arizona State, Iowa State in the top because Arizona State would have, well, it says right here, based on record versus common conference opponents, all played equal times 4. So they won, they beat 4 teams. Like they beat KU, they beat K-State. I think KU, if their record wasn't so bad, they would probably be a team that a lot of people would think would be a great team to have in the Big 12 championship game because they're just playing really well. Yeah.
I agree. Paulie. I agree.
Yeah. Yeah. It is what it is. But those are the scenarios. I just wanted to break that down. I already had another video breaking down the 8 teams, 6-3 teams scenario. I'll put it up there one more time for everybody to see. It would be this scenario. This scenario for the 8 6-3 teams, which is crazy. I can't even believe that is a possibility. If that is a possibility, I would not be mad about going against Baylor. If I'm K-State, Baylor, that would be a pretty damn good game, I think. That'd be a really good game. But
I think the title game is going to be good anyways, and we're going to do a breakdown of that game regardless of whoever's playing next week. So
of course. Yeah, I think you're right, man. It's going to be one for the ages, and I really hope that if BYU does end up in the title game, I want to see a lot more of this on my screen. I want to see this all day long. I mean, this is incredible. So if they do manage to get into the championship title game, that's what I want to see.
I love it, dude. I love it. Are you ready to play the game?
Oh, God, the game. Yeah, I'm gonna
All
lose.
Right. Here we go. So
here,
starting last week, we're gonna do a new game every Tuesday, even though this week it's on a Monday. But I had to leave and go to Texas. But here we go, Kenny. Are you ready? I'm gonna explain the game. All right, you're gonna have 4 minutes to name every Big 12 team and their mascot.
Okay.
Or what they're known for. So, like, what's K-State?
The Wildcats.
Yes. So he has to do that for all 16 teams. Tell me when you're ready.
All right. I'm ready. K-State Wildcats. KU Jayhawks.
Hold on. Okay.
Iowa State Cyclones. UCF Golden Knights. Cincinnati Bearcats.
So it's actually not the Golden Knights. It's actually just the. Okay, what did you say?
Cincinnati Bearcats. West Virginia Mountaineers. Oklahoma State Cowboys. Texas Tech Red Raiders. TCU Horned Frogs. Baylor Bears. Houston Cougars. BYU Cougars. Utah Utes. Colorado Buffs. Let's go Buffs. Arizona State Sun Devils. Arizona Wildcats.
Dude, you did that in 1 minute and 18 seconds. Proud of you, bro.
Whew. It's good.
Yeah, I decided to make it a little bit easier after last week. Last week that was
should have started with that one.
that one was pretty tough. That one was pretty tough. I had him guess all of the teams or the quarterbacks based off their quarterbacks' initials. So I have something ready for next week as well. I've not prepared it because I actually have to prepare it, but I already had the idea. So, but good job, man. Good job.
Yeah, that wasn't too bad. I had a lot of studying because I'm working on that video for how I would rearrange the Big 12, and I would
That's right.
move all the teams in different divisions, and I would create scenarios where there were like rivalries based on their name and location and stuff like that. So he goes, there's a Lou eyes. Is there only one scenario where KSU makes the Big 12 game? No,
there's a bunch
multiple. There's like 5 or 6. There's a scenario where K-State can play Baylor, K-State can play BYU, K-State can play Colorado, K-State can play Arizona State, K-State can play West Virginia, and K-State can play Texas Tech. There's a scenario for every single one of those games that are in the running. K-State can actually play in the Big 12 game. That's why it's unique to be K-State, because we actually have the ability to play every team in the running because of how our 6-3 record is the best of all the 6-3 records.
K-State has a strength of schedule of 19 in the country.
Yeah, that's wild. Think about that.
It is. Okay. I guess it's time to go, Kenny. We appreciate everyone for watching. We are going to clip out these segments. I'm going to be in Texas the rest of the week till Friday. Hopefully I get my Christmas lights up so Kenny can come over and watch a K-State game. I got to get my chores done, Kenny, so you can come over and sit on our new couch.
That's right. I have not seen that couch. I bet it's very nice and firm because it hasn't been broken in yet.
Yep. Actually, I feel like I'm a big guy, so I feel like I've broken it up pretty good. But there's just one last thing to say, Kenny.
What is that, Steve? I'm just teasing.
Go
Cats! Go Cats! Let's get this done.
Cats by 90!
Down in